What's going on, guys? J-Money here, and I'm bringing you some StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty action. This is going to be another matchup from the BFL. What's the BFL, you ask? It is the BattleNet Forum Leagues, where people duke it out for pride, justice. I was about to say the American way, but I don't know if everyone there is from America, so wherever they are from way. Yeah, kind of butchered that, but it's fine. I gotta do my thing. This is going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg, the most unstable matchup of all the matchups, and I can't friggin' wait. Enough of the chit-chat, let's get to the introductions. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we do have a red Zerg player, and his name is DirtyD. In the top right-hand corner of the map, we do have our yellow Zerg player. His name is Orbmunk. Orbmunk. I'm just really bad at pronouncing things, apparently. Yeah, but that's fine. Looks like we're going to have at least up to this point, pretty macro. No little cheesy 6-pull or anything like that. At least in this game. Let's see. We do have the Overlords pretty much scouting out at this point in time, going in all directions, trying to get pretty much all the map control they possibly can. We do have our red Zerg player coming up with a 13 pull, so a little bit quicker. And there goes the yellow one. So just a couple second lead, nothing too crazy or too insane about that as of yet. Both of them are just really focusing on building up their drone supplies and pretty much mainly that, getting their econ going. So while we're in a little bit of a slow point in the game, I am going to give a shout out to my little subscribe button to the bottom right hand corner. If you are a fan of the BFL, you're a competitor, or you just like StarCraft 2, feel free to hit that thing. Why? Because then you'll be updated on all the new games. That's why. Nice and simple. And as I mentioned it, we do have gases going down and actually finishing up for Orbmunk. So we are going to try to see a little bit of a quicker speedling setup, but it's not going to be too much quicker, at least to that point. And as you see, because he did go for that little bit sooner gas, is going to be a little bit behind on the supply and the drone count. It's not huge, but it is there. And as we go back in, we should start to see an expansion come down for both of these players relatively soon. Otherwise, they're going to be going on some big one-base play. And with Zerg, you can't see that every now and again. But there's the expansion for red, and for yellow, a Balin's Nest. He is trying to hide out a little bit toward the back of the base, so it is probably going to be for some aggressive play. Normally if you see them though in the front of the base, it tends to be just one of those things where it says, hey, I got Balins. You better back off or I'll just blow you up into green goo. And are we going to see these Zerglings actually pushing out? He wouldn't be able to get too much damage then because DirtyD, I love that name, DirtyD right here, he's got his own little army set up, and he'd be able to defend that relatively easily. Again, as we see, red speed is up it's going to be done slightly sooner. It's like a whole 4 seconds sooner, so not a huge deal. And besides Balings right now, we also have Roaches on the way. So, army-wise, if our yellow Zerg player does want to push out, if Orb decides to put out some aggression here, it could end up working out very well for him because, quite frankly, besides Zerglings, there's really no tech. I mean, we do have an evolution chamber starting to come up at this point in time, so he will be able to get upgrades really quick, but other than that, there's not going to be really much to defend his base. So, at this point in time, since we still don't see an expansion coming up from Orb, I do expect us to see some aggression coming relatively soon. The only thing is, will he actually have the bank to actually supply the army? And as we take a look, let's go to the units tab really quickly. I mean, couple more drones, couple more Zerglings, one more queen. I mean, at this point in time, they're relatively even. However, there you go. One good bailing hit can pretty much just change everything. And I would love to see this Overlord just moved up a little bit more for the scout, but it doesn't look like it is going to be coming. And let's see what these Zerglings are going to be able to do in some pretty decent shots. However, not good enough because these Zerglings are still standing. And now with pretty much the Balings and Zerglings out of the way, that does leave time for the spawning pool to start to open up. We do have Speedlings getting ready to run into the front. However, with the 2 Queens and the Zerglings they have, should be able to be easily held off. And now with the Spinecrawler finished as well, pretty easily hold off. Now we're just going to see the Queen pretty much taking out the Overlord with the supply block. That is not what Orb wanted to see at that point in time. And are we going to see a transfuse on the Queen, or we're just going to have it naturally healed up? And because he's sensing a little bit of aggression coming his way, he is building a second Spinecrawler. But at this point in time, we only have a handful of roaches and the expansion coming down right now. And at this point in time, Orb is behind resources, and pretty much because he doesn't have his expansion up, economically he is going to be suffering as well. At this point in time, if Dirty did want to, he could probably get another expansion up, but he is hopefully going to be going for at least some form of tech relatively soon, because right now he is still relying strictly on Zergling, and Roach Baling owns Zergling. That is the only downfall of Dirty at this point in time. We do have the roaches starting to move up front, but actually, was that Overlord able to see that? No, so our Overlord is actually out of position. However, he did send a Zergling in, and the Zergling was able to see this army. So what does he do? He builds 10 more Zerglings. But again, was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 roaches? Will just demolish that with 2 more on the way. However, Red's like, alright, you're sitting back relaxing, I'm going to build a roach warren on my own. And does he have the larva? He definitely has larva to supply at least a decent roach army. The whole point is, will this actually come in for a push before he's ready? That is going to be the major worry for Dirty. At this point in time, we do have a couple of the Zerglings pretty much sitting over here. Why is he doing that? Because if the roaches come in over here, this will come in through the back and pretty much just flank them. So at this point in time, we do need to see some roaches immediately coming for our red player. If he doesn't start roach production relatively soon, he could be in some trouble, because we have a pretty decent sized roach push coming from Orb at this point in time. Clearing out the watchtower, and we got 3 roaches on the way, but that just might have been a little too late. Kind of hoping that he is able to hold this off just to end up getting to a little bit later game ZVZ, because that ends up being just ridiculous. So we do see the roaches sitting back right now, which is beautiful for Dirty, because that is going to give him a little bit more time to build up. He already has a couple static defenses with these Spinecrawlers and 3 queens. So pretty much with these queens on the front line, he does have transfuse available as well. And again, a bigger and bigger army is starting to form up with this huge reinforcement of roaches in his front line, with the Zerglings, with the queens, with the Spinecrawlers. This could be pretty bad for Orb at this point in time. I think his time for his aggression has just passed, and with the 3rd expansion finally coming up and Zerglings that could get in for the flank is pretty bad. However, he is moving in right now with the 2 Spinecrawlers located. You have the GG. He pretty much saw that almost immediately. And there's Dirty leaving the game as well. So hopefully you did enjoy the game. If you did, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment. Also, if you have any games you would like me to cast, feel free to send an email to me. It's in the description, and I will do the best I can to cast each and every one of your games. Thank you very much, guys, and hope you have a wonderful evening. Feel free to come back for game number 2.